garage to the front, attached garage, all that junk. Shoot, you seen it. We give praise, esteem, and honor to the living Elohim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. We pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Okay, children, y'all in close proximity. Don't be playing, don't be talking, don't be touching, don't do nothing. Better have your ears open, your eyes focused, and your heart ready to receive what you're going to need to live. Or I guarantee you this here. When it comes time to throw you in the hell, I'm going to be the first one to toss you. Ain't going to feel damn way about it neither. Because that's what you earn. Because that's what you desire. Yeah, I know y'all like your little shalom, man. I know you like your little cartoons and all that stuff, and you think that junk matter. That junk don't matter. It matter to you now because you're not you but a child. But you're going one day, you're going to be grown. You're going to be a man. You're going to be a woman. And you're going to have to conduct yourself as such. And you're going to find out that life ain't fun and games. And you're going to have to know how to conduct yourself. That's why you ought to pay attention and receive wisdom while you can receive it. Get instruction while you can get it. Yeah, you ain't appreciate it now because you don't understand what I'm talking about. But some of you do, because several of you in here, you're hard-headed and you're stubborn, borderline rebellious and outright defiant. And you think that junk cool. Then when you get caught in your rebellion and your disobedience, you want to throw the sad face on like somebody care. But then you find out don't nobody care. Because when you do things you ought not, you have to pay a price. That's how life works. There's consequences for everything that you do, right or wrong. And you don't get to determine those consequences. You can only suffer them. See, like a lot of y'all feel like, oh, you don't do something. You feel like, oh, why they had to pop me, send me to my room, put me in the corner. Y'all just go sitting there looking with the silly face, thinking somebody supposed to care. Because y'all not babies no more. So that's the difference. See, y'all used to be 2, 3 years old and people look at the cute little baby. You niggas ain't cute no more. You small young men and women. When I say you ain't cute no more, not your physical face, but the stuff you be doing. That stuff ain't cute no more. Now you have to learn that you can't do what you want to do. And you ought to pay attention. Because you know why I'd be offended? Because you go in them cracker classroom and you perk up and you smile and you cheese and you clap and you look at your little funny looking friends and you have a good old time and come in here and disrespect Yahuwah. And I don't like it. I don't like it in the least bit. I want the same respect you give your little white teacher. Your white lady teacher, your white man teacher, because that stuff they teach you ain't going to save your life. I can tell you that. Might help you make a little bit of money. But it ain't going to help you be a good man. Ain't going to help you be a good husband. It's not going to help you be a good wife. It's not going to help you be a good mother. It's not going to help you be a good individual before the sight of Yahuwah in the least bit. It's just stuff they give you to indoctrinate you. Do y'all know what indoctrinate means? I know you don't, because that's a $3.50 word. It means to give you information to make you think the way that they want you to think so you can behave in the way that they want you to behave so that you can be controlled and moved in the fashion that they want you to move. We're trying to give you the information that you can choose to serve Yahuwah because you don't have to serve Yahuwah. You get to choose, but you don't get to choose the consequence if you don't serve Yahuwah. Do y'all understand what I'm saying to you? Do you understand, or are you just saying that you understand, so I'll stop talking to you? See, you cheesing, Abigail, and I'm not playing. See, that's also some of y'all problem, too, is you think somebody playing with y'all all the time and everything's a game. I'm not playing with y'all. Y'all know when I'm playing with you, and I'm not playing with you right now. And you young ladies need to learn that because everything ain't a game, and your cute little faces ain't going to get you far in life if you ain't got good sense in it. Because ain't nobody finna take care of no rebellious, disobedient, simple-minded woman. Ain't nobody finna do that. But one day you're going to want somebody to take care of you, pay all your bills, teach you and guide you in the right direction. Ain't nobody finna guide no young woman who can't listen. And one day you young men got to guide people, and ain't no woman going to follow you and you're an idiot. Can't think straight, highly emotional, get upset, want to do stuff, want to be lazy. I hope you niggas wipe your butt good and wash your body right. Take care of your appearance. Now, see, you, I know you do, because your room stay clean, don't it, boy? Yeah, that signs of order early. I like that in you, boy. Shoot, y'all playing. You ever seen that nigga room? That nigga room immaculate. Decent and in order every day. Ain't that right, Tubby man? Your room clean right now, ain't it? So your room ain't clean. Don't be ashamed because you got some discipline about yourself, boy. John chapter 5, verse 39. That ought to be something that you find honorable within your own self. That nigga tell them girls to get out of his room. They come ask him to clean their room. Huh? Yeah, he do all that. That boy do all that. He just got to learn how to get his emotions in check. John 5:39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you. The Abba, there's one that accused you, even Moses, of whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? Praise you, Lord. Psalm 61. Oh, let me make sure this nigga ain't sent your money, man. I'll hit that nigga in the morning.
That insurance be clean in the clutch, but that insurance be. That's my first time out of the that doggone one was $1,600.
Nigga, what? Hey, my back windshield was $500. Probably because it's an audit and they had to get certain type of glass. That's a luxury vehicle.
10.
That's about right. Psalm 61:1. Yeah, they might raise your premium up next go round. Shoot, I don't pay them niggas but $222 every 4 months.
I don't think I was going to $50.
You say because that junk went up because I went to doing that preservation junk, and I ain't never tell them we don't do that no more to bring that junk down. Hear me, hear my cry, O Elohim, attend unto my prayer. From the end of the earth will I cry unto you when my heart is overwhelmed. Lead me to the rock that is higher than I. For you have been a shelter for me, a strong tower from the enemy. I will abide in your tabernacle forever. I will trust in the covert of your wings, Selah. For you, O Elohim, have heard my vows. You have given me the heritage of those who fear your name. Now, of course, y'all are familiar with, this is a different word for heritage. Yerusha. So, Yerusha. Possession, inheritance, things of that nature. Yad, Rosh, Shan, and Hay. And you can proceed. Yad, Rosh, Shan, and Hay. This is for possession. This is for inheritance. Yerusha. Yad, Rosh, Shan, and Hay. Yad, Rosh, Shan, and Hay. After that, you can go ahead and get you 1 Chronicles 29 if you would. I think I'm going to get something in Exodus in regards to some building. Now, right now, Muffin Man, I know I explicitly told you to sit on the floor. And you also, Renee, see, that's my point, what I'm talking about. Y'all feel like you could do what you want to do, and you cannot. Get on the floor. I care not for your sad face, your hurt feelings, or any of that. When I ask you to do something, that's what I expect to be accomplished. If you cannot do what you're asked to do, then you can just go ahead and suffer the consequences that go along with your disobedience. And then maybe you learn that somebody ain't playing with you. And just because I say suffer the consequences don't mean somebody gonna hit you and you're gonna go on your way. Because see, I know that's what some of you prefer. Gonna get popped and it's over with. I don't come from that school of thought. That's the easy way out for you. I have other means to correct your disobedience. Yes, I do. But guess what? How old are you, Tubby Man? Huh? What you talking low for? You ain't did nothing. But how old are you, Stanks? What about you, Michael? What about you, little Bible study? How old are you, boy? You only 2. Oh, you 4. Oh, okay. Tell me something. What about you, Christian? How old are you here, boy? So that means y'all ain't babies. Joy, how old are you? That means it's time for you to start learning about consequences and repercussions and taking responsibility for your choices. Oh, I wasn't going around the room, Grandma, so you can go ahead and let your hand down. You only want to raise your hand because you want to alert somebody that your birthday coming. But I'm going to be honest with you. Don't nobody in here care. Your friends might, because they might think that's an opportunity to get some cake, maybe some ice cream, play a little bit. But in general, no one's really concerned. Your mother and your father might be, but everybody else generally not. Yeah, y'all gonna learn that as you get older, because I know you little girls, y'all not gonna learn that even till you're about 45. You're still gonna want to celebrate your birthday like you did when you were 7. I'm just tell you right now, it's embarrassing. Yeah, it is. What y'all got? Yard, Rod, Sean, and Hay. The work of Elohim will compare you to the highest. Anyone else would like to behold the work of Elohim that pairs you? They're all about the same. But yeah, this work. But what is this work? You know what the work is, Pots? So y'all problem is y'all just be waiting for it to be over so you can eat and play. See, that's why I got to make some more money so my time more free. Because I can't educate in my home as I would prefer to. I'm a hands-on educator. Ask your mama, she can tell you. I'm talking about you, Pot, Lizzie, Abigail, Tubby Man. She can tell you. I like the hands-on. Make sure you learn. I got a different regimen for boys. Yeah. I get enough money, I take you niggas for the whole summer. You come back a different man. You laughing. I ain't even serious. I ain't even joking. I'm talking about, I've been plotting on planning on that type of activity for 25 years. Muffin had a mean regimen. I wasn't even grown yet. I worked too late in the day. I can't execute how I prefer to. I got something for you, boy. You, the squarehead boy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm break you. You and your squarehead sister. Yeah, I'm break you. Come on over here to 1 Chronicles 29, though. We looking at that work. I was going to grab this Psalm 78. Look at that Psalm 78, man. It ain't going to hurt nobody. Y'all know what he told you in John chapter 6, the work of Elohim is to what? Believe on him whom he has sent. Well, we read this last night in Isaiah chapter 6, and we're going to look at it again in a moment. Where do I want to begin? I'll pick this up in Psalm 78 and verse 5. Psalm 78 and 5. Do you children like to learn? Or you only like to learn things that seem to be fun to you? Y'all like to learn. Y'all like to look at the cartoons and Doc McStuffin and all that bull crap. Pure and unadulterated folly, teaching you nonsense, telling you lies. The lies of the Gentiles. Believe that crap. But I understand your children. It don't take much to entertain you. So I'm not mad at you. What you like to watch, little tubby man? What you like to watch? Huh? Well, you ain't got to look crazy. I done been in your house, boy. I see how you get. What you like to watch? Huh? What'd you say? You don't like to watch nothing. Now come over here so I can tell you to your face, you telling the story. Tubby man, come on over here so I can tell you. What you like to watch, Tubby man? Leah, what you like to watch? What does Tubby man like to watch? That what you like to look at? What you like to look at? Bevo? Oh, now you want to talk, Muffin man. Well, what you like to look at? Look at who? What did he say? He said Power Rangers. Yeah, you look like a Power Ranger. Psalm 78 and 5. For he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Yasharal, which he commanded our fathers that they should make them known to their sons, that the generation to come might know them, even the sons which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their sons. See, I know I done told y'all this before, man. I ain't never been one who believed that the women supposed to be teaching the children. I don't even know where that foolishness come from. I ain't never believed that. Never in my entire life. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't no piece of information came to make me believe that way or think that way. I thought that way because, shoot, it was inclined naturally that that's what the man's supposed to do. That's why it's highly important, especially if you have sons, to make sure that you give them the appropriate information required. How they're going to. That's how it stops. That's one of the detriments of having a home without a father in it, because there can be no trade of the information, especially if you got a son. You know what I'm talking about? There's a reason why it don't matter about trading it to the daughters, because the daughter gonna have a husband and he gonna give it to her. It's of the utmost. That's why it don't make sense how some of them niggas be in the red pill spot crying about women. Nigga, you the reason why she like that, because you a buster. Because you ain't have enough sense to know to leave that funky slut hoe alone. You decided to put a baby in her. You know what I'm talking about? Now you crying about it. They passed me over. Yeah. And then just ran that clip of that dude grabbing that chick phone talking about, let me see your phone. Shoot, I'd have been like this here. Why you asking them for money? I'd have been like, shoot, why you ain't give me no money? You know what I'm talking about? You should have got some more money. $90, that's all you got? Shoot, you should have got $270. And I'm like, yeah, I ain't gonna give it to you, but you can give me what you get. At least you should have felt better about yourself. His feelings was hurt. Hey, one thing for certain and two things for sure. I don't mind slapping you in front of all these people and embarrassing you. That goes for any one of you who feels like that you can do what you want to. Just because I asked you about what you like to watch and it gave you a moment to smile, don't give you license to do what you want to do. It don't. It don't. I promise you, that's the only reason why I want to be rich in my life, to give me free time so I can raise my children appropriately.
I felt like that too.
That's it. See, I can't give you what I can only give you nuggets in a short period of time that I get most of it. I can't give you what I would rather give you. I promise to you, I have a drawn out regimen. That if junk moves smaller, I'm talking about, boy, your mama never take you to school. I'd do it. She'd never pick you up because I'd do it. Shoot, you might not even go because I'd do it. Your mama can maintain to make sure that the family business run efficiently. Yeah, it's important. It's important. That world eats you up out here, man. Satan ain't no joke. And your enemies ain't either. And your other enemy ain't either, and that's death. And y'all around here scared. But again, you're cheering. I understand. I used to be one. I get it. I get it. I mean, because clearly you got the ability to be stubborn from your uncle, so I can't even be mad at you, but I'm going to break you, though. Because you ain't all the way like I was. See, you fold quick. I ain't fold. I know you really ain't stubborn. You really just be tested. See, Abigail don't fold. She got all the way. Abigail don't fold. Abigail going to look that whooping dead flush in the face and say, bring it on. Mm-hmm. Verse 6. I'm in 7. That they might set their hope in Elohim and forget not the works of Elohim, but keep his commandment. And this is where we're going to take a pause for the call. If we talk about dwelling in his house, you know that's deeds, that's practices, that's acts, that's malal, mean, ayin, lamad, and lamad. So this is also an endeavor and an invention. So I need y'all to tell me 3 works that Yahuwah performed and both sides of the text. Because he said, you need to remember to not forget his works. This should cause you to recall some things that he said in the book of Numbers. And if you don't recall them, I can certainly grab them for you. Not just the lead, the works, actual works. What did he do? Yeah, because he told you you have to transport those works. You have to speak of them. See, not only did he deliver you by killing Pharaoh's sons and all the firstborn, but then there was the plague. See, he told you that in Numbers 14, you done forgot all my wonders and my works that I done showed before you. When he split the Red Sea, he did all of these things. The manna coming down, all of these things. These are great words. You turn around and look at Yahusha. At the end of the day, this man walked on water. He raising the dead. He healing the sick. He resurrecting from the dead. You have to remember those words. You get a little too early, Saran, because when it's Psalm 78, he teaches to the house of Yasharal. So you have to remember Numbers 14. The house of Yasharal would have had no understanding of him breathing into Adam to remember those words. That's not something that would have been relevant for them. You know what I'm saying? You have to look at what was going to be relevant for us to talk about some of those things. It may not be as relevant to you because you looking at it like I wasn't there for that. See, it's how they look at it. They feel like these stories aren't relevant to them because it's not given to them in an entertaining fashion. But I've told you this before. I do not believe in instruction and entertainment should be intertwined. If you have to use entertainment to instruct, that means that you have definitely disrespected the cognitive function and intelligence of your offspring, because you just told them that the only way that you can receive information is if I give it to you in a fashion that will delight you. You know what I'm talking about? That's just my personal opinion and perspective on that matter. And I felt like that for my entire adult life. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the reasons why I stopped reading fiction novels in the first grade. If I wanted to be entertained, I'll watch television. I don't want to be entertained while I'm reading. Nobody brought that on myself. This is just personal. 6 years old, man. I'm like, I don't want to read to be entertained anymore. To me, this is pointless. If I'm going to read, I want to read because this is going to be information that is going to benefit me in the long run. You know what I'm talking about? See, that entertaining is really the dumbing down of an entire generation. Because then they ain't going to be able to learn unless they can see something on the television or that their emotional sensory perceptions have been piqued. So that takes away the actual delight of actually learning. The only way somebody can be a good learner is that they delight to learn, that they have a desire to learn. Entertainment doesn't give you a desire but to be entertained. Yeah, they may recall the information, but the information is not ingrained because they didn't watch it to learn. They watch it to be entertained. See, we get excited if they can recite the information, but do they have the insight and the desire to retain the information? That goes beyond entertainment. Yes, indeed, young lady. The water out of the rocks and the fiery serpent in the desert was definitely a great work that I wager that they should have remembered. Continuing in Psalm 78, if you will. And that they might not be as their fathers, a rebellious generation, a generation that set not their heart aright, whose ruach was not steadfast with Elohim. See, these people heart wasn't locked in with him. Because remember, we're talking about an inheritance, a possession, something that an individual gets. So we need to remember these works. But let's get back to this 1 Chronicles 29, because I'm already behind this fourth when we began. Dang it, man. 1 Chronicles 29. Let me pick this up at about verse 8, if you would. All right, y'all, let's roll. And well, let's make that 6 for proper context. Absolutely, sir. 1 Chronicles 29 and 6. Then the chief of the fathers, the princes of the tribes of Yasharal, and the captains of thousands and hundreds with the rulers of the king's work offered willingly. Now we're going to pause. Let's see, if you're going to dwell in the house, you got to do the king's work. See, that's why we read that verse to say that you got to be vessels meet for the master's use. Now, of course, you know that's Malkah, which is occupation, work, or business. Let's just take a trip just to hear what the Lord got to say. You know what we're finna read. Come over here to Luke chapter 2. It's just for the sake of letting the Lord say what he got to say when he got to say it. Y'all all right over there? Them children ain't bothering y'all, is it? See, because Jessica children sitting there, they want to listen. Y'all be playing, looking crazy. See, they got books. Y'all can read. Y'all don't have no books except for Michael. I ain't going to take that from Michael. Michael always try to read and keep up. I respect that from your son. Christian just have his phone. I ain't mad at you. Yeah, he got it on the phone. I ain't mad at him. I'm just talking about the one that got a physical book. Ain't nothing wrong with it. You know, I'm older, so, you know, give me a book. It's like a little different. Books are better. I just got a new book. I ain't even read that whole yet. 2 and 46. Luke 2 and 46. And it came to pass that after 3 days, they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of doctors, both hearing them and asking them questions. And all that heard him were astonished at his understanding and answers. And when they saw him, they were amazed. And his mother said unto him, Son, why have you thus dealt with us? Behold, your father and I have besought you sorrowing. And he said unto them, How is it that you sought me? Wished you not that I must be about my father's business? That means his occupation or his work. I mentioned the Isaiah 6. Come on back over here and look at this Isaiah 6. Because we're going to come back and double back and look at that. Because everybody who dwells in this house is going to have to be about the deeds and occupation of the house of whom they dwell in. Would we say that would be a safe thing to say? Now, those deeds encompass many a thing. This is something y'all already know. Pause. Matter of fact, how does that relate to the Levites in a matter that we've discussed previously? Do you not recall? What did David order for all the Levites? They had a course. Everyone to their course, meaning everyone had a specific labor. That means he gave an order and a structure that was beyond the order and structure that Yahuwah gave to Moses. He said, no, I need y'all to do this and do that. Notice that Yahuwah had no problem with him implementing more structure in the structure that had already been given. You understand? That was the point to things, of course, as y'all know, later on down the line. So everybody has an occupation in the business. Of course, you know, what did Paul mention to us? Is everybody a prophet? No. Is everybody an apostle? No. Is everybody a doer of miracles? No. But everybody works self-same by the same ruach to fulfill the will of the individual who gave out the business in the first place. Isaiah chapter 6, right? I'm going to pick this up at verse 6, right? Well, I'll make it 5. Then said I, woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips. And I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips, for my eyes have seen the Malik, Yahuwah of hosts. So let's look at this unclean lips. First, let's look at this here. He said he's undone. That means he has been undone or cut off at the sight. He has been silenced. He has perished. That is Dalit, Meme, and Hay. He has perished. Now we're going to look at why would he say that he's undone or that he has caused to cease, to cut off, destroy, or has perished. Dalit, Meme, and Hay. He said he's seen the king. He didn't perish. Don't overthink it.
I would say life is in that and hanging in the usage.
Anybody else? You could also sit back that you have seen the blood of sacrifice, and you needed to see the. See, let's pause. Let's just go on all the way out. Come over here to Leviticus 17.
Mighty hanging up, Yahusha.
They say you used to like to hang and bang. That's what they say you used to do, throwing up gang signs and whatnot. Well, you weren't doing no macking because you weren't doing no stacking. 17 to 10. Matter of fact, man, I'm networking around, and I just want you to know, at least at this particular chapter, it heads it as this is a special sacrifice. This chapter is about special sacrifices. So this is going to allow us to go back to when we were talking about all your gifts or the sacrificial offering. You understand? Pick it up at verse 3 in Leviticus 17. Saran's got the sacrifice of Yahushua brought forth the Ruach. That is allowable. Either we're going to all the things that are mentioned is going to cause you to perish because you've seen the king. But see, we're going to look at that in a moment, what that means that you're going to have to perish because your eyes have seen the king. So we're going to network all that and make it all make sense in a moment, if you will permit. Leviticus 17 and 3. What man soever be of the house of Yasharal that kill an ox or a lamb or a goat in the camp, and that kill it out of the camp, and bring it not unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, to offer an offering unto Yahuwah before the tabernacle of Yahuwah, blood shall be imputed unto that man. He have shed blood, and that man shall be cut off from among his people, to the end that the sons of Yasharal may bring their sacrifices which they offer in the open field, even that they may bring them unto Yahuwah, unto the door of the tabernacle and of the congregation, unto the priest, and offer them for shalom offering unto Yahuwah. Let me ask you a question. Was Yahushua slain in the open field? And can you justify that with book? I don't want a yes or no. I need you to be able to justify that with the text. Was he slain in the open field? Muffin man, you got a problem? Come here. Come here then. Come here then. Come here then, boy. What's wrong with you? Why you ain't got no neck? Where your neck at? What you did with it? Why you ain't got one?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
That Golgotha.
That would be accurate. Let's look at it in Matthew 27. You hungry? Huh? Muffin man, you want something to eat? Huh? I'm gonna eat in a little bit. Is that all right with you? Huh? You ain't had no snack? I understand your pain, Muffin man. Matthew 27, and you can pick it up at 29. And when they had platted a crown of thorns, they put it upon his head, and a reed in his right hand, and they bowed the knee before him and mocked him, saying, Hail, Malach of the Yahudim. They spit on him and took the reed and smote him in the head. And after they had mocked him, they took the robe off from him, put on his own raiment, led him away to crucify him. And they came out, they found a man of Cyrene, Simon by name. Him they compelled to bear his state. And when they were coming to a place called Golgotha, that is to say, the place of the skull, they gave him vinegar to drink, mingled with gall. And when he had tasted, he would not drink. And they crucified him and parted his garments, and casting lots, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophets. They parted my garments among them, and upon my vesture did they cast lots. And sitting down, they watched him there. You want to go back to that? Or you want to stay over here? What you want to do? You want to go back over there? That's all you had to say for. Sit there looking ugly. Now, you know, Golgotha is the place of the skull. That means they slain him in an open field as your shalom offering, if you would. Well, what is that shalom offering for? What is he bringing peace to? Because we just talked about a covenant of peace yesterday. Well, of course, this peace offering is to bring forth peace between you and death, or you and Elohim. Let's continue in Leviticus 17 and pick it up at verse 6. And the priest shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar of Yahuwah at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and burn the fat for a sweet savor unto Yahuwah. So pause. Let's look at burn the fat. We still holding Isaiah 6, 1 Chronicles 29. Now, this is also going back to something that we just discussed. How did the priest sprinkle the blood? Because I had a brother like this here, right? Dude, he preached up there in Virginia. Why he asked this question. Scripturally, would you be able to answer? He said, can you baptize yourself? Yes or no? So he asked, do you have book to back that up? See, this is one of them questions. Well, I be telling y'all that why you got to know what you got to have at. Now, he preached the word now. Now, he didn't agree with what I had to say. That's neither here nor. See, that's the other thing you have to learn with. Just because somebody don't agree don't mean for you to get your doggone boxes in a bunch, this, that, there, and the third, especially if the discourse is respectful. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? Ain't no need for that. Because I told him off the top, no, sir. I say, no, sir. You don't have anywhere in the text of anyone immersing themselves individually. Because you could say, well, Moses immersed all the people. And who immersed Moses? Yahuwah did. No, shoot, they walked through that Red Sea. Yahuwah had to split it. Moses led them through. Moses immersed all them people. Yahuwah immersed him. He didn't do that on his own volition. You know what I'm talking about? He didn't do that. Then you sit back and look at it. If you want to look at it again, because you know they had to circumcise the people the second time, of those people who were born and they were not immersed. So Yahuwah immersed Yahushua son of Nun, and Yahushua son of Nun immersed all them people when he took them through the Jordan, when he split it, when they came in the land. You know what I'm talking about? You turn around and sit back and look at it. Naaman the Syrian, he was immersed by Elisha. You know what I'm talking about? That's how that works. That's how that rolls. But I just gave him law. I say, man, because he says it Torah, but I say, man, Exodus 40, bro. He told me that's for the priest. I say, yeah, the minister in the priest's office. I say, are you not been made kings and priests by this man's blood? Yeah. Very well then. He told me they ain't got nothing to do with him. I say, well, John the Baptist was a Levite, sir. He immersed the man. You notice that if the master didn't immerse himself, what make you think you can immerse yourself? I'm like, he got to fulfill it. But not, he didn't respond back because I told him, hey, man, I'm just going off the witness that this whole book is about him, sir. That is the perspective. He didn't respond back to that. Everything I said before that, I'm telling y'all that. I didn't go through all that with him because he didn't ask. Because we didn't get to the next part because he didn't accept. He said Exodus 40 ain't got nothing to do with that. And he didn't accept. Yes, it does. And this is why. And then after that, he would have got what y'all just got. But it didn't get that far. So, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know what I'm talking about? But there's a reason that's my point. Why I be telling y'all that. Man, you can't come to nobody with them old generic doggone, the teacher going to tell me I'm right answers when you talking to people. Because you're going to have to be able to at least, if you can't prove your point, to sway them to be able to be persuaded under righteousness, that at least that to be a witness against them that they heard what was correct. Because again, it ain't no bout. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no penis measuring contest.
You know what I'm saying? When niggas do that on Facebook, they don't be genuine.
He may or may not.
I mean, I say that because when you do try to give it to them, they don't even, like you say, they don't even open themselves up to give a full perspective for their receive. And I done seen several people do that. Like look what Buddy did.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, I've seen people do it for years. I don't engage in those endeavors that often anymore. You know what I'm talking about? But nevertheless, you know what I'm talking about? I seen it. Because you can't be telling no nigga he can go down to some water and say, I baptize myself in the name of Yahushua. That nigga's a fool. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to be able to go do that. You can go do it, but what type of sense that make? Yeah, that don't make no sense whatsoever. And the sad part is that dudes really feel like they can do that. You know what I'm saying? A dude who, the fact that that's a relevant question for anybody to ask, can I baptize myself? Can I baptize myself? Paul was an apostle and he was immersed. He told him, man, what you delaying for? Go wash away your sins and go get immersed. That don't even make no sense. Matter of fact, when Yahushua pulled up on John the Baptist and asked him to immerse him, what did John the Baptist say to him? I need you to baptize me. Man, he boy crazy, man. You know what I'm talking about? That's why I be telling y'all. That's why I be saying, buddy, dude, work is trash. John's trash, man. That bad dope, man. You know what I'm talking about? That's why I on the game with them, boy. That's like this here, cause boy, I come out like, hey, boy, I'm gonna give you some work. Boy, you gonna be like, boy, that nigga that got some dope. Now you gonna have your people looking at you crazy, talking about why he said this and said that. I ain't said nothing. Ain't nobody out there know. You know what I'm talking about? Like straight up, that junk ain't on no man. Shoot, bro. I believe in high quality cocaine, so you can be like this here, George. I can't feel my face. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, you know. Let's come on back, man. Where I was at? Leviticus 17, right? I think I was looking for a word. I don't remember what it was. Oh, yeah, the fat. Y'all remember what the fat is, right? That's the choices, the best part. You know what I'm talking about? Caleb, Cot, Lamad, and Bod. And get that what that is. You separate it by the shepherd to dwell in his house, because that's the best part. You know what I'm talking about? That's what that fat is. That's the best part. That's what he wants. He say, burn the fat for a sweet savor. We just were talking about burning last night. We talked about burning a couple weeks ago. When you go ahead and go through the smoke of the furnace, you know what I'm talking about? And he said, and hey, if there be a fire kindled, who am I to put it out? Because he wants you to burn the best part. Remember, we just read, I counsel you to try meat gold tried in the fire, that you might be rich. Because he want the best part. Mordecai, cut it out, and grandma, get yourself together. That go back to what we were talking about with Cain and Abel too, right? Cain ain't give the best part. I seen a brother I know, and he in ISUPK, but he all right with me though. And he told them boys today, stop saying I'm my brother's keeper. Everybody, what you mean? That nigga say, boy, that nigga was being disrespectful. I said, there's a man who paying attention. Straight up and down. Like y'all, you know, I've been telling y'all that for years. All that, I'm my brother's keeper. That mean you just told me you was a whole nigga. Hey, I'm with you when you're right. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down, though, bro. That man say, where your brother at? Am I my brother's keeper? That man was being sarcastic and disrespectful to you who of faith. You're not finna be walking around here talking, I'm my brother's keeper. That means you're a merkin. That's what I tell me when somebody asks you where he at. I'm supposed to keep up with this nigga. I'm supposed to guard this nigga. That's what that mean. And dude said. And guess what? Everybody watched doggone New Jack City where they kept saying it. And you seen what they did to each other too. They did the same thing. How many niggas you done seen say how my brother's keeping was loyal to the man they were talking about? Okay, play with it. That's that Cain spirit. It ain't my responsibility to watch out for him. I'm supposed to remember, keeper mean what? Shamar, guard, keep, and observe. I'm supposed to protect my brother. That's what he was saying. That ain't right.
I ain't gonna lie. I really looked at it like you saying the opposite, bro. Like you saying you are your brother.
Yeah.
The nigga was saying he wasn't.
Yeah, he was saying he wasn't.
But you supposed to be.
But that ain't even the point. I'm not finna utter the word nigga who that from the person who it came from. No, I'm good. I ain't got to tell my brother I'm his keeper because that should already be known. If I love him, I ain't got to tell him that. You know what I'm talking about? The fact he said it, for me, it's the fact Yahuwah asked, man, where your brother at? Am I my brother's keeper? Nigga ought to slap you dead in your mouth. If your brother wasn't dead, nigga ought to slap you dead in your mouth. You sound like a woman. That's a female response. You know what I'm talking about? And I thank the Lord. I peeped that early. I said, I don't want nothing to do with that. I ain't gonna tell no. I ain't my brother's keeper. That's my brother. We gonna ride anyway. You throw me the pistol. Hey, you get shot. We were like that as kids, boy. You niggas swing on you. We gonna get beat up together then. If it's 30 of us and it's 3 of us, I guess we just that's a whooping I gotta take. That's what Richard Pryor said. You know what I'm talking about? And they said I wasn't fighting nothing. You know what I'm talking about? That's how you gotta look at it, man. If that's your nigga, man, shoot, you ain't gotta go through all that. I just noticed that people who use that term regularly are some of the most disloyal individuals you'd ever want to meet. You know what I'm saying? Makes sense. Shoot, Cain your daddy. It's only right to do what your daddy do.
And then the Hebrew, the word actually means that what that was like for defense. Like, that's what brother mean. I'm saying in Hebrew, that's what brother mean. The word itself means you will defense.
So he just told him, that ain't my brother.
Yeah.
So what I'm worried about that nigga for? You know what I'm saying? He let him know, like, but you know how rotten of an individual you got to be to look Yahuwah in the face, look the Malakim in the face, and say, man, it ain't my job to keep up with that boy. You know what I'm talking about? When he asked you directly where he at, he already know where he at. He wanted to see what you were gonna say. He said, man, his blood cry out to me. And get what he did. This punishment is more than I can bear. Get your weak behind out of here, nigga. That's what he said, ain't it? It's more than I can take. Yeah, you ain't had no problem taking his life, though. Sad state of affairs, if you ask me. Verse 7 of Leviticus 17. And they shall no more offer their sacrifices unto who? Devils, after whom they go a whoring. This shall be a statute forever throughout their generation. Let's take a look at something in 1 Corinthians chapter 10. He said, after this offering that's made in the field, look what he said you wouldn't do. Make offerings to who? No more offerings and sacrifices unto devils. Now, did we not read? And I'll get you devils real quick, just so you know. It's Sa'ir, Shan, Ain, Yah, and Raj. It's a he-goat, a buck, a sacrificial animal. Also, Seder may refer to the demon that possessed the goat, like the swine of Gadara. This is a devil. This is a goat, hairy, kid, rough. This is probably one of the reasons why Satan is depicted as a goat. Because the Hebrew word for devil points to goat, a hairy goat. That's why he like to walk around here talking about he little boffy. You know what I'm saying? Little boffy, that's what he like to do, because shoot, he like to play with his titties when ain't nobody looking. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 14. Joy, what's your problem? Why you looking like that? Face all balled up. Pot, what's your problem? Nothing. Renee, what's your problem? Come here, Pot. Where your book at, Pot? Oh, why did you do such a thing? You know why. Why did you leave it? Why did you forget? Didn't you notice what you were coming to do? So you didn't know you were coming here. Oh, you were being absent-minded, weren't you? Do you forget your school books? That is reasonable. Very well then, Pot. I can't say anything about that. No, I mean, shoot.
No,
it's true.
That's
Just reasonable. I guess they don't get to take their books home like we did. Okay, definitely send us home with all. Play with it. Math books, English books, all that. Straight up. Definitely came home with the books. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 14. Wherefore, my dearly beloved, flee from idolatry. I speak to as to wise men. Look at what he said. Judge what I say. So he said he's speaking to you as if you got sins. The cup of blessing which we bless is not the communion of the blood of Mashiach. Remember, we just talked about that blood, right? Because he said he got to sprinkle the blood on the altar. The blood was sprinkled upon the altar upon his crucifixion. And of course, the spilling of the blood once they hit him on the side. The bread which we break, is it not the communion of the body of Mashiach? For we being many are one bread and one body, for we are all partakers of that one bread. Behold, Yahshua after the flesh. He's letting you know who he's talking to. Now, he ain't talking to no Gentile. If these were Israelites, he wouldn't have no need to say that. Are not they which eat of the sacrifices partakers of the altar? That's why. Now, this is why he said Yahshua after the flesh, because they know this because of the law. A Gentile wouldn't know this. There would be no need for them. So that's the stuff they mentioned. Why I be telling you why the other brothers' letters are plain. You're talking to people who already know the text. He has to go in between people who don't know the text and have a skillful way to impart information to individuals who ain't believed in nothing their entire existence. Behold, Yahshua, this is 1 Corinthians 10 and 18. Behold, Yahshua after the flesh, are not they which eat of the sacrifices partakers of the altar? What say I then, that the idol is anything, or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols anything? But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils, and not to Elohim. They sacrifice it to the goat. To the goat. You cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils. You cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and the table of devils. Do we provoke the Lord to jealousy? Are we stronger than he? See, this is what a lot of brothers take this here. They try to conflate it to any and everything that people got going on. They'll be like, if you're doing this financially or doing this politically, you sitting at the devil's table. This man is talking about literally, he led off with dearly beloved, flee idolatry. See, we want to be mixing all this other stuff in, but notice what we read in Leviticus 17, that once you get this peace offering, you would no longer do what? Sacrifice to whom? Devils. What is he telling you about? The blood of Mashiach, the bread of Mashiach. There is your peace offering from Leviticus 17. That blood was sprinkled upon the altar so that the fat could be burned for a sweet smelling savor. Like it tell you in Ephesians chapter 5 that he offered himself as a sacrifice for a sweet smelling savor to Elohim. Therefore, you would no longer make sacrifices to the devil. Not making sacrifices at your job. That ain't the devil, man. We talking about you got idols and you bow down and worship them. See, every year people make sacrifices to the devil when they acknowledge Christmas. They're making a sacrifice to the devil. You don't realize you're making a sacrifice to the devil because you got all that food and you got all the, see, some people, you come down at the Christmas tree, you worship the devil. You're a simpleton. See, they're worshiping him in their heart because what they're doing, they're believing that they're doing it unto the name of Elohim, but you're doing what your forefathers did in the wilderness. You made a golden calf and you said, this is Yahuwah, which brought us up out of Egypt. That's what you've done. You know what I'm talking about? See, we get caught up on the Christmas tree is an idol, and you put the star at the top, and that's an idol. See, that's elementary Hebrew nigga talk. You know what I'm talking about? But when you get to the essence of what's going on, these people have an idol in their heart because they went and got animals, so to speak, even though they did not slaughter them, that they purchased to make an offering because they're giving thanks to their God before they eat it. You understand? You got people who don't even believe in the text who celebrate Christmas. Because it's supposed to be a Christian holiday. And you got people who say they don't believe in the book who celebrate Christmas. So that's let you know that the idol is formed because whatever God it is that you say you serve it, that's who you offering that ham, that turkey, whatever nigga meal you done made. You know, for white people it's different. We can't talk about white people because we ain't white. Because they got their white people meal. Christmas meals is different at white people's house than they is at black people's house. Just like Thanksgiving meals are different at black people's house than they is at white people's house. They make different dishes because it's a different culture. They don't. Everybody ain't the same. I guarantee you go to an Asian person's house for Christmas and Thanksgiving, and they gonna have different dishes.
But I was gonna say this could be an answer. Is that kind of foreshadowing on how idolatry in the beast is represented on all people doing it, like Christmas, something like that.
I mean, it's some of it because at the end of the day, that's what most idolatrous practices is. They spread and they can just have all the way around the board. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, you have some people don't be messing with the people Thanksgiving, all that. And that's your business. I ain't doing it. Because at the end of the day, you're making an offering and a sacrifice to a God whom I know not. I don't know that God. I don't need to have it set apart on a day that I can link to some idolatrous festival. You're offering sacrifices and thanks to a God whom I know not. So I'll pass. No disrespect. Ain't no hard feelings. You know what I'm saying? Now, guess what? Just like the text tell you, if you were predisposed and you were summoned unto this feast and you don't know if they done sacrifice this unto devils, you don't ask. You sit down and eat what's before you and go about your business. That's what the text tell you to do because sometimes you get summoned to these type of events. And it's best for you to keep your mouth closed because if they open their mouth, now if they stand up and say, we have offered this to Beltane, now I have to go now. Yeah. I have to go now. I can no longer remain in this location. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a way to handle things. Because you know how most brews is, you keeping your Thanksgiving. I'm not going through all that with them people. Man, that's their business, man. Them niggas want to eat turkey and stuff and then watch the Lions or the Dallas Cowboys or whoever the third game is. That's their business. You know what I'm talking about? They want to drink liquor and smoke weed and tell lies because they get to see their people who they don't even like the other 364 days out of the year. That's their business. I ain't mad at them people for that. Shoot, I ain't mad at the people who keep Christmas. That's your stupid behind let a nigga dupe you into spending all your money for nothing. To some ungrateful bastards. Now I got to do all this stuff to show you I love you. If I got to buy you something to show you I love you, I don't need you. If that's what it takes for you to know that I love you, that I have to purchase you something that you do not need for you to know that I loved you, I don't need you. And that junk water one of the reasons why children entitled. Telling them children lies that they behave all year round. Some fat white man coming to the house to drop them something off. You know that nigga ain't behaved 6 months out the year. You still give him what he want. Then the nigga had a nerve to get mad because he ain't get what he wanted. Y'all already know I ain't never believe in that junk. Well, I keep that junk early. Y'all were lying.
But like you were saying, it's sometimes even if you ain't telling me as a cracker, even if you doing it yourself, it's still making them tell.
Entitled.
They supposed to do what they supposed to do regardless.
Anything coming. Leviticus 17, you're going to get what you earn. Earn what you get. Nigga crazy out here, man. I ain't got time for that, John. What verse I started? I'm going to read verse 7 again. Leviticus 17. I didn't want y'all to grab that to understand what it's talking about. Because if you're going to dwell in this tabernacle, you can only come in this tabernacle if you come in with an acceptable sacrifice. I think it was something in my brain. It was something else. Now I can't remember what it was. Oh, the good part. That's going to cause you all that. Let me get this 2 Corinthians 5 out of the way. I can't remember all the way what verse it was, but either way it go, I need to work it in here. Notice he said you're going to get the best part. You should always give you who are your best. You should never be sloppy. You should never be lazy. Because you got to, that's why I be telling y'all this here, man. You're like this here, like, hey, man, it ain't going to hurt you a little bit of money. Teach them little girls how to make no head wrap or buy them an acceptable head covering versus putting a bonnet on their head. That's disrespect. You know what I'm talking about? Because that calls them that they can be acceptable to be a hood booger. Bonnet, you should already look at a bonnet, that hood booger activity. Bonnets was in the house. Not even in the house. Bonnets for the bed. You know what I'm talking about? Bonnets is for the bed. Bonnets ain't for nowhere but the bed. You know what I'm talking about? Because you have to sit back and look at that. You represent, there's a lot of women out here, boy, if they had a husband, boy, I know that nigga Shane. That hoe come out the house with yoga pants on, bonnets on. You know what I'm talking about? Talking loud breath stank. You don't want to tell nobody that's your wife. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how I felt about these brews, boy. These brews when we can't, how they look. So this how you represent your husband looking tattered? Nigga think you live at Skid Row? You know what I'm talking about? Come on, man. Have some honor about yourself. Good Lord. You know what I'm talking about? Dude be walking around here funky and stank. You already know the text tell you about wearing cologne. Yahuwah had cologne. You don't want to smell good. You ain't giving that man the best part. You ain't giving that man the fat, the kidneys. You ain't giving him the choice part. You giving that man the testicles, the stuff he don't want. You know what I'm talking about? The colon and test. That man don't want that junk. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all should know that from the sacrifices, right? You got to cut the animal up. That man tell you, I want these parts. You give me these parts. That part, that you throw that way. But I heard BOA the other night. That nigga had me dying laughing. That nigga say, I don't know which one of you niggas be going to the toilet praying. I said, well, I didn't even know niggas did that. That man said, that man don't want to smell your boo-boo. He said, he told you in the law, man, you go outside the camp and dig a hole. I said, yeah. I said, you ain't lying. I just didn't know people prayed on the toilets. I definitely thought that you would have enough respect to say, you know what, Lord, I'm going to get back with you when I'm finished with my bowel movement. Not, please, you who will listen to this prayer. No, that man don't want to hear that. He can't smell nothing but your poo. That's refuse. You ain't giving that man the best part. Come on. See, I'm mentioning that there, right? Because there's a reason for that. Because you can't even dwell in this house unclean. That man told you don't even doodle in here. That man said don't even doodle in here. That man say, boy, go outside the camp, not outside the tabernacle of witness. That man say, get up out your tent and go outside the walls and put that junk in the ground. Hold on, let me go on here. We get the Hebrew word for it. I think that's Exodus. You know what I'm talking about? Give me a second, man. Yeah, that man said, don't bring that dung in here. He said the same thing. Hold on. Okay. I can't even find it. But I'll show you that with a sacrifice, though. Bump it. Come over here to Exodus 29, man. And we'll look at Leviticus 8. Shoot, might look at Leviticus 16. Exodus 29, right? Exodus 29 and 10. You say, oh, you think that was Scary Movie too? Shoot, I don't even remember Scary Movie, man. Oh, he's saying the Exorcist sketch. Exodus 29 and 10. You shall cause a bullock to be brought before the tabernacle of the congregation. Aaron and his sons shall put their hands upon the bullock. You shall kill the bullock before you by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. You shall take of the blood of the bullock and put it upon the horns of the altar with your finger and pour all the blood beside the bottom of the altar. You shall take all the fat that cover the inwards, the caul that is above the liver, the 2 kidneys and the fat that is upon them and burn them upon the altar. Point taken. You see what he told you to take? Let's look at all that so you can see that there. He told you what he wanted now. He said the caul. And I'm going to let y'all know what that is. That's yothareth. That is the appendage, the overhang, or the cadute lobe of the liver. You know what that liver represents, right? Then he said, go ahead and take them 2 kidneys. You know them 2 kidneys is the seat of your emotion and affections. We want to burn that up. So that's burning up the flesh. You're burning up that liver because you want to burn up the doggone heart, or what you think with, and of course, you know, burn up the fat, which is the choice part, the kaleb. You know what I'm talking about? You want to burn up it so that the best part can remain. Let's continue. He said, but the flesh of the bullock and his skin and his dung, you shall burn with fire without the camp is a sin offering. So guess what? All that sin, all that flesh, we're going to take that outside of Elohim and burn that up. And that's what you offering because you offering yourself. He said, take that doo-doo and get that junk out of here. You know what I'm talking about? Now notice he told them to take the dung outside the temple where they were sacrificing that, get that outside the camp and burn that. Don't you burn that in here. That's Peresh. Look at what it say. Pay, Rosh, and Shan, the words of the highest consume. Get that doo-doo up out of here, man. That's fecal matter now. Get that fecal matter up out of here. That's unclean.
I need to eat crab. Maybe eating a little orange thing in the crab.
Eating dung. Leviticus 16. Eating dung. Now this was the feast of, this is for atonement, right? Verse 27. Look at what he's telling you to do with that sin offering. 23. Leviticus 16 and 23. I can't even recall the verse with the hole in the ground.
I'm trying to find it.
Put your poop in there. Don't you bleed that in here. That's unclean. That man, remember he told you, he said you'll look at your sins one day as a menstruous cloth and say, get thee hence. What 2 things you who didn't want in their presence? That's menstrual blood and fecal matter. You get that junk from out of here. Shoot, all bodily secretions, period. That's why I be tripping when dudes think they're going to be in the kingdom ejaculating. All manner of bodily secretions this man don't want nothing to do with.
That's what I was thinking about. That's why women
You can be unclean at any second. That's why it ain't her job to teach the children. That's why she can't be no priest. That's why she could never serve in the tabernacle. Dudes be talking all that junk. Yo, they be saying that back. Come on, bro. This woman's going to be ceremonially unclean once a month, every month. So you mean to tell me the work of you who are supposed to take a pause? Come on, man. That's just outright retarded. That ain't got nothing to do with a woman. Because guess what? If you leprous and you serving in there, boy, you got to get them up out of here. You know what I'm talking about? You got boils and they dripping. Yeah, you got to get up out of here. You know what I'm talking about? That man ain't on that. And the point of why I'm mentioning all this, because if you're going to dwell in this tabernacle forever, you're going to have to be clean. You're going to have to be clean. Got to clean it up, get it right, keep it tight. Leviticus 16:23, Aaron shall come into the tabernacle of the congregation and shall put off the linen garments which he put on when he went into the Kadash place and shall leave them there. And shall he wash his flesh with water in the Kadash place and put on his garments and come forth and offer his burnt offering and the burnt offering of the people and make atonement for himself and for the people. What is that? Yahushua leaving the Kadash tabernacle, putting off the linen garments, becoming a man, and then offering himself for the people. And the fat of the sin offering shall you burn upon the altar. He shall let go of the scapegoat and shall wash his clothes and bathe his flesh in water and afterwards come into the camp. Notice that he got to be clean. All this got to be done. And the bullock for the sin offering, the goat for the sin offering, whose blood was brought in to make atonement for the Kadash place, shall one carry forth without the camp, and they shall burn in the fire their skins, their flesh, and their dung. So again, what is your skin and your flesh? Let's just take a look at it. I already mentioned it, but let's just get these words for skin. You already know the word for flesh, I will wager. But if not, we shall read it as well.
It's 23.
Exodus, Deuteronomy. First things first, with skins, you have or. Skin, hide of man. Same word that we used in Genesis. The skin of man. So that's that flesh. See, pause. Come to Romans 8. This is why Mashiach come through and tell you that he came through to subdue that. 8:1, if you would. Therefore is no condemnation to them which are in Mashiach, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Ruach. The law of the Ruach of life in Mashiach Yahushua have made me free from the law of sin and death. For what the law could not do, and that it was weak through the flesh, Elohim sending his own son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin condemned sin in the flesh. How did he do that? By burning him. Through the what? The furnace of affliction. Therefore, the skin and the flesh and the dung was taken outside the camp and burned. How do we know he took him outside the camp? Hebrews chapter 13. Boy, cut it out. Cut it out, boy. Nothing wrong with you, boy. Looking all despondent and whatnot. Hebrews 13:8. What are you talking without moving your lips for? What that making a noise? That's what I thought. He's making noise. He ain't moving his lip. Hebrews 13:8. Yahushua HaMashiach, the same yesterday, today, and forever. Be not carried about with diverse and strange doctrines, for it is good thing that the heart be established with mercy and not with meats, which have not profited them that have been occupied therein. We have an altar whereof they have no right to eat, which serve the tabernacle. For those bodies of those beasts whose blood is brought into the sanctuary by the high priest for sin are burned without the camp. Didn't that we didn't look at? Wherefore Yahushua also, that he might sanctify the people with his own blood, suffered without the gate. Let us go forth therefore unto him without the camp, bearing his reproach. So what you look at it, right? You take the skin or the flesh of man, and you take the dung, which is the uncleanliness of man, and you burn it outside the camp.
And
Keep the inward parts, because that's the part I want. Because what did he say? He desired truth to dwell in the inward parts.
so the candy and stuff
You keep that. You burn it on the altar, though. It stay in the house. See, the flesh and the dung can't stay in the house. See, the flesh is unclean and it defile the house. Take that out. The dung is unclean. Take that out. Because we talking about if you're going to dwell in this tabernacle forever, you're going to have to give that man your call. You're going to have to give him your kidneys. And you're going to have to give him the fat. You're going to have to give him the best. You're going to have to give him up your emotions. And you're going to have to give up your heart. And he's going to burn all that up in there. And you can stay in there, because what will remain is like what we read in 1 Corinthians 3. We'll see what type of work that is. And if it remains, then you be delivered. But if it be destroyed, that be destroyed. But your soul be saved. And that's what you're looking at. I burn up the call, which is your heart. I burn up the kidneys, which is your affections, and I burn up the choice part, and what remains stays in here with me, and therefore you're delivered, but you took a loss with that. You lose your flesh, you lose your emotions, you lose your own will, but your soul is spared, because those offerings that were offered upon the altar were for what? Peace offerings and sin offerings. But that flesh and that dung, take that out of here, because I don't want that. Yeah, that ain't gonna get no sweet smelling savor. See, if I burn that flesh and burn that boo, ain't no boo-boo walking smelling. All them vegans talking about my boo-boo don't stink. Get your stupid butt out of here. You who don't want to hear that? Oh, I'm a vegan. I can boo in here. You who are gonna kick you dead in your teeth. You funky, nasty booty nigga. You gonna doodle in my presence? Ah, you got to look at it now. Indeed, sir. Indeed. It ain't nothing but what the word say. And of course, flesh is basar, if you're not aware, and that's the flesh of body. That's why he say you have two flesh, just different types of flesh. That's why he say the first man was earthy and the second one was heavenly. You ain't got to burn up the second flesh. Ain't nothing to burn. It's already purged. That's why he say we seek to put off that we might be clothed with the tabernacle from above. Deuteronomy 23:12. You can pick it up at 23 and 9. Deuteronomy 23:9. I understand, sir, shoot. He say shoot. In his presence, he probably do uncontrollable. Knowing who, he probably let your bowels hold. Like this here, because he like, I can't do nothing with you now. He got boo-boo on it. Bowels are whole. I feel you, man. Shoot, most of us will probably do what Daniel did and then fall out dead.
You can get that far.
Y'all looking at the door like you finna answer it, like you got some business.
You rest to what's happening, then you gonna be asleep.
Deuteronomy 23:8. The sons that are begotten of them, I meant 9. When the hosts go forth against your enemies, then you shall keep you from every wicked thing. If there be among you any man that is not clean by reason of uncleanliness that chance him by night, then he shall go abroad out of the camp. He shall not go, and shall not come within the camp. But it shall be when evening come on, he shall wash himself with water, and when the sun is down, he shall come into the camp again. You shall have a place also without the camp, whither you shall go forth abroad. You shall have a paddle upon your weapon, and it shall be when you ease yourself abroad, and you shall dig therewith, and shall turn back and cover that which come from you. That's pretty plain when he's talking about what come from you. The man talking about your fecal matter. Take that out of here. And I want you to know that come forth from you. It is sod, olive, and hay, and that is filth, human excrement, feces. Dig a hole. No, he didn't say anything by chance that might have you unclean. Hey, man, anything, shoot, you can have some leprosy, anything can happen. You know what I'm talking about? Excretion of bodily fluids ain't the only thing. Because when you got uncleanliness, it's chance, accident, nocturnal pollution requiring temporary exodus from camp, some accidental ceremonial disqualification. Kara, Kuf, Rosh, and Hay. Let's come back over here to 1 Chronicles 29. We about to get ready to wrap this up. I ain't even gonna delve into 1 Chronicles 29 as depthly as I intended. But I think you either way. Everything still worked out swimmingly. Because we talking about dwelling in this house. And there's many elements to talk about dwelling in his house. Because if it's blood that made you kings and priests, I mean, we read that. Did I even read that 1 Peter 2 last night? I don't even think I read it. Come on, look at that 1 Peter chapter 2 right now. No, I had called for 1 Peter 2, but I don't think we ever got to it. Who that is? That Joe? Yeah, send them on around here. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 1. Come on here, Joseph. Come on. Cut all that playing out. What you laughing for? What's so funny? Muffin man, don't come over here playing. Hey, sit down, pay attention, boy. Tell your mama wipe your nose. You're crusty. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 1. Wherefore, laying aside all malice and all guile, and hypocrisies and envies and all evil speakings and newborn babes, desiring the sincere milk of the word, that you may grow thereby. See, that's one of the things that a lot of people don't do. You don't lie. You don't sit back the lies. You don't sit back your evil speaking. You don't sit back the envy. You don't sit back the hypocrisy nor the malice. So you know what malice is? Malice is a little rough. See, malice going being spiteful. Now, I've been told you this here, right? Spitefulness, that's in a woman's nature. Women can be very, very spiteful. You know what I'm saying? So to see a man do it, this is outright despicable. You know what I'm talking about? But he said you got to put that stuff to the side as a brand new baby. Because you know why? Because you done burnt up the flesh, you done burnt up the skins, you done burnt up the dung, and you done left the man the choice part because it gave a sweet smelling savor. Because what did the text say about a sweet smelling savor that we just talked about? He will do what? Accept it. And he will accept it because this is an offering that is pleasing unto him, because this is an offering for what? Reconciliation, as we discussed on atonement. So one of the things that we see by dwelling in this house is there needs to be a what? A reconciliation. All of us supposed to look at our house as the house of Elohim, and it should always be a concerted effort to maintain peace in the house. Is the house of Elohim a house of peace? Let's look and see if he tells you that. Let's come over here. Let's look at two places. Isaiah 56 and Jeremiah chapter 7. Isaiah 56 first, because that's the one I said. Hello, little mama. Hey, little mama. Yeah. Hey, little mama. You was over there muffining it up, weren't you? Yeah, that's what you were. You was over there muffining it up. Isaiah 56. I'll take it at verse 1. It ain't gonna hurt nobody. Thus saith Yahuwah, keep you judgment and do justice. For my salvation is near to come and my righteousness to be revealed. Notice what he said. Guard judgment and do what is upright or even. His salvation is near to come. His righteousness to be revealed. We know that that was done at the coming of Mashiach. Baruch is the man that do this. So guess what? You're a blessed man. If you keep judgment and do justice, you will be blessed. And the son of man that lay hold on this, that keep the Shabbat from polluting it and keep his hand from doing any evil. Neither let the son of the stranger that have joined himself to Yahuwah speak, saying, Yahuwah have utterly separated me from his people. Neither let the eunuch say, behold, I am a dry tree. For thus saith Yahuwah unto the eunuchs that keep my Shabbat and choose the things that please me and take hold of my covenant, even to them will I give in my house and within my walls a place and name better than of sons and of daughters, and I will give them an everlasting name that shall not be cut off. Also the son of the stranger that joined themselves to Yahuwah to serve him and to love the name of Yahuwah to be his servants, everyone that keep the Shabbat from polluting it and take hold of my covenant, even then will I bring it to my Kadash mountains, make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices shall be accepted upon my altar. For my house shall be a called a house of prayer for all people. Notice that he said all their burnt offerings and what else? Their sacrifices. And we're looking at those sacrifices. Are we not? Peace offerings, like we read in what? Leviticus 17, which we need to finish. He taking all of that. If you're offering the peace offerings in this house, would you not be able to reckon that there should be peace in that house? That means that the house of Elohim is supposed, that's what the marriage is supposed to be. You enter in a covenant, you're supposed to be entering into a covenant of peace, of complete and perfect tranquility in the home. You know what I'm talking about? I was listening to the older lady talk about that, about a point we done talked about before, right? She would say how she was raised. That, and I done told y'all this before when we had this conversation. No woman in life should ever ask a grown man where he's going. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When she mentioned that, well, see, her point of why she mentioned that, because we didn't have the conversation before, and I said the same thing. You shouldn't be asking no grown man where he going. But this was her point, which is in Proverbs 31, that your husband's heart dwells safely with you, that he can trust in you, that you won't do him no harm. Because if you're doing what you're supposed to do, then he would let you know where he going. You know what I'm talking about? And you wouldn't even have to ask. See, the woman should always tell her husband where she going. You know why she should always tell her husband where she going? Why you think you should always tell your husband where you going? Simple as that. And you know why? Because he's responsible for you. So if something was to happen to you and you came up missing, he wouldn't even know where to start because you feel like I'm grown. I ain't got to tell this nigga where I'm going. See, you're not worthy of protection. A woman who want to be protected is going to let her husband know, I'm planning on, even if you didn't plan on going there, hey, impromptu, I'm finna slide to my mama house. Now if something happened to you, guess what? I would know where to begin my search. I would begin. Of course, it's different now. You got cell phones. Of course, when she was talking about, that was a different time. You needed to tell people where you were going. Because if you came up missing, ain't nobody going to be able to call you and be like, man, the nigga ain't answer his phone. See, now y'all feel like, oh, I can cut on, track my iPhone, and I can follow your location and all that there, but it ain't about all that. That's your common courtesy of a woman, that you're his responsibility. But as a woman, you should never ask a man where he going. Ain't none of your damn business where he going. If he wanted you to know where he was going, he would tell you as such. But if you create an environment of peace and tranquility, he wouldn't have no problem telling you where he going. Hey, I'm finna slide out for an hour or so. I'm finna hit over here. I'll be back to the house. But see, y'all don't really look at that because you feel like I need to know where he's going, because you really want to control and dictate to the man. That's the perfect way for a man not to tell you anything. But see, she come from a different time. She ain't that much older than me. I come from that time. You don't ask no grown man where he going. You know what I'm talking about? Don't matter to you where I'm going. But he gonna tell you so you don't be worried if something happened. I don't know where Charles went at. He just left the house 2 hours ago. I don't know where he went at. You tell him where you're going, because so she can know. Because you know y'all worry. Y'all be like this here. Really, y'all ain't worried about his well-being. Y'all worried about if he in the face of another woman. With me, you worried about the wrong thing to begin with. You ain't worried about it. I'm talking about the average woman. They be asking that. They ain't worried about where he going. I know, yeah, you're going to go to the hoe's house, ain't you? You know what I'm saying? There's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. You worried about the wrong thing, and that's the first thing come to your mind. Oh, I got to go make a drop-off at your other whole house, huh? Just get out. Because you got psychological problems that I can't fix. See, that's another thing, too. And she mentioned this, and I told you this before. Your husband can't fix your psychological problem. He could just point you and give you some good counsel, this, that, then, the third. But if you got psychological issues, you got to fix that. You know what I'm talking about? That's just like, if I got psychological issues, you know full well your wife can't fix that. Shoot, your brothers can't fix that. You got to look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? I got this problem mentally, and I need to do something about it. And this is what I'm going to do about that. Can't nobody do that for you. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, women's is like this here. Just fix it for me. Do it for me. Some of y'all had that when you was in school. You had a chick always ask you to do your homework if she felt like you got good grades. That happened to you? No, it didn't happen to you. Ain't nobody want to copy off your paper.
No. I wasn't there. Get my work done.
Yeah, I had a couple hoes. Like, I could cheat. No, ho. You try to use your titties for some no, don't play with me. You should have just asked. See, that's it. I told you that's something I learned at an early age too. 12 years old. Like, look at her. This girl don't talk. No, I'm for real though. Like this, we go on the same bus. We know each other, but you ain't ever talked to me. Now all of a sudden you're extra friendly. You're brushing your nipples, crossing my shoulder blade. Something ain't right. This is abnormal behavior. You don't usually conduct yourself like this. First thing clicked in my mind, she wants something. That's thing she know. I can cheat off your paper. I say, hell no. Straight up. I never shoot 7th grade, man, math class, man, Mr. Sykes looked her dead in her face. Hell no. And she was shocked. I said, baby, you ain't have to do all that. You could have just asked. First quarter, don't pretend like you like me to get what you want. You know what I'm talking about? Because, baby, I ain't that pressed and I ain't that lame. And I'm offended that you felt like you could do that. And guess what? I played the game right along with you. And that you kept on doing it and kept on doing it. Only difference is if we'd have been older, I might have smashed you first and then told you. Because you thought you had more. Because you thought you had more game than me. Thought you were gonna pimp me. You got me bent, ho. You know what I'm saying? That's what I knew right then. Don't trust these hoes, bro. Them hoes act like they like you, don't care nothing about you. Just to get what they want. Don't do it. That's why I said, well, I'm gonna get me some money, man. These hoes ain't right. This middle school, man. Then you gotta ask yourself, who taught her that? Or did she learn early? I can use what I got to get what I want. With a Ronnie Ho quote. You know what I'm talking about? I can see that chick face right now. I bet she got a whole gang of bastard churn by nothing. You know what I'm talking about? Verse 4, verse 3, 1 Peter chapter 2. If so be that you have tasted that the Lord is gracious, to whom coming also into a living stone, disallowed indeed of men, but chosen of Elohim and precious. You also as lively stones are built up a spiritual house, a Kadash priesthood, to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to Elohim by Yahushua HaMashiach. Now see, we could come back around with them spiritual sacrifices because we want to talk about the spiritual offerings. Because while we read in Chronicles, we just really talking about this evening spiritual sacrifices, continuing on to kind of what was discussed on atonement. Let's finish this Leviticus 17, though, before we get on out of here, man. We're running long. Where we start that? I'll read verse 7 again, though. Leviticus 17. And they shall no more offer their sacrifices unto devils whom they have gone a-whoring. There shall be a statute forever unto them throughout their generation. When he put that a-whoring, you know that's an idol. That's why we read that 1 Corinthians 10 to know this. That 1 Corinthians 10, this is Leviticus 17. They meet right here. Because you're talking about, both of them were talking about sacrifices, the way you won't serve your idols anymore. But goes back to what we read in Ezekiel 37 last night, when he talking about that you will no longer serve your idols and your detestable things, but you'll serve your one shepherd, your one king, even David. Verse 8, and you shall say unto them that whatsoever man there be of the house of Yasharal or of strangers that sojourn among you, that offer a burnt offering or a sacrifice, and bring it not unto the door of the tabernacle and congregation to offer it unto Yahuwah, even that man shall be cut off from among his people. What is that? If anybody try to go up through some other way, the same as a thief and a robber. Because if you don't want to bring that sacrifice to the door, he going to cut you off. Whatsoever man there be of the house of Yasharal, or the stranger that sojourn among you, that eat any manner of blood, I will even set my face against that soul that eat blood, and will cut him off from among his people. Now let's pause and let's get some clarity. Where in the text do you see people eating blood? There is an instance in the text where the people ate blood. I'm mentioning this here because you getting a medium well, medium rare steak is not eating blood. You're just not eating fully cooked meat. When he was talking about eating blood, if you recall in the book of Samuel, when the people were hungry and they said they wasn't going to eat, and then people got actual animals, slaughtered them, and ate them with the blood. They ain't even cook it. They ain't even cook it. Just ate it. That means you have blood dripping from your mouth. That's some weirdo stuff. Now, I ain't saying you got to do this. You want your steak well done, that's your business. You know what I'm talking about? But at the end of the day, if you had a medium, ain't no blood coming up out of that steak. That nigga just ain't cooked all the way. Unless there's some blood dripping up out of there, then that means somebody can't cook. Now, chicken, I hope no blood ain't coming out of no chicken. What's that? The verse in Samuel? With the yeah, the boy was out there eating blood. The boy was out there eating blood. That's right. That's that Acts 15. Don't eat things strangled with blood. Yeah, he talking about literal blood, not undercooked food. Because everybody done had it you got to do, this burger, I done sin. Boy, you ain't ate no blood, boy. That's an undercooked burger. You might get salmonella. He passed through some fire for a little bit. You know what I'm talking about? For a good start. Shoot, he got brown on the top. He passed through for a little bit. And you put a little grease with it. A little flour. All that. He said, listen, right, for the flesh is in the blood. And I've given it to you upon the altar to make atonement for your souls. For it is the blood that make atonement for your soul. That's why he didn't want you to eat the blood till it was time for you to drink the blood. To make atonement for your soul. You know what I'm talking about? And of course, y'all know that's why Mashiach came up and said, a Ruach don't have flesh and bones as you see me have. No need, because he said the life is in the blood. Y'all know that. The life is in the Ruach. So that's why you don't need no blood. That's why he told you flesh and blood can't enter into the kingdom, because blood perish and spirit never does. Therefore, I said unto you, unto the sons of Yasharal, you shall eat, no soul of you shall eat blood, neither any stranger that sojourn among you eat blood. And of course, when it say eat blood, that is a call, which is to devour, to eat, and blood is dam, and that is literally blood. It's literally blood. Also, it can be wine figuratively. Considering on the now listen when it say blood, that which shed that causes death of man or animal, drops of blood shed, literally blood. You got to be a sick nigga to eat blood anyway. For it is the life of all flesh, the blood is the life thereof. Therefore I said unto the sons of Yasharal, you shall eat the blood of no manner of flesh. For the life of all flesh is the blood. Therefore, whosoever eat it shall be cut off. Every soul that eat that which died of itself, that which was not torn with beast, whether it be of your own country or stranger, he shall both wash his clothes and bathe himself in water. He shall be unclean unto the even, then shall he be clean. But if he wash them not, nor bathe his flesh, then he shall bear his iniquity. And one thing about it, Yahushua didn't die of himself. That's why you can eat it. So y'all didn't peep that to see that go with the law. He said you can't eat none that died of himself. Yahushua didn't die of himself. He was torn to pieces by beasts. And then what he said, torn with beasts, and they were brute beasts. And they tore him to pieces. So he didn't die of himself. That's why you can eat of his flesh and not bear your sins. But hallelujah for Yahushua, because it's 9:30. We get started. Hey, man, I bless all the house Elohim in the name of Yahushua. You who are willing, we'll pick it up on tomorrow. Again, make it do what it do. We'll pick it up at 7:30. And you who are willing till that time. No, we have Monte. How he said he was cool.